Okay, this is going to be part one of why you should upgrade your gear. This is going to be the mathematical side. I will detail my entire process about this, but the whole idea is that this quality 1 to quality 4 plus 18 damage is a lot more than people think. We're not looking at it in terms of just some random imaginary creature. We have defined mobs with defined HP, and based off of a percentage of their HP, they have stagger thresholds, or as they're officially called, stagger limits. And once you meet that threshold, the enemy is staggered. Of course, they also have kill limits. I mean, they have a certain amount of HP. If you can get a certain amount of hits to kill that are fewer than before, you are doing combat a lot better. Yeah, it's just much more convenient. 2 hits rather than 3, super smooth. If you can just 1 hit stagger an enemy, 2nd hit kill it at however much more consistency, very good. But just straight up, I mean, even this damage, it's going to go through so many different modifiers. You stagger it, that's 2 times the modifier. The 18 becomes 36. You hit it with a whole 3-hit combo, 36. 36. The 3rd swing has an additional 2 times modifier, which means that's 72, for a total of 144 extra. Oh yes, quite a bit. And for context, Fulling has 145, and A-Bomb has 800, Alox has 1000, Fulling Berserker 850, Stone Golem 800. Naturally, no start enemies there. Now, you get a sneak attack and a middle mouse with, say, normal one-handed weapon, not a knife or anything. That's a 9 times cumulative modifier, 3 times for the sneak attack, 3 times for the middle mouse, and that's a total of 162 extra damage potential on this target. Let's assume that it's neutral. You wouldn't really be using a resistance or resistant damage type on this creature per se. You know, playing smart. And of course, it especially shines for stagger thresholds. Oh yes. Upgrading your gear is just so much more consistent to get a stagger on a mob and less hits than upgraded, which is really good because proactively staggering a mob is much better than a simple parry, because it is giving you way more time to act and react and control and demolish the mobs in front of you, instead of waiting for the mob to center itself and then attack, and then you can counterattack. Group fights, not the best strategy. Plus, parry, counter, a lot of times not very stamina intensive, or not it is stamina intensive. It's just, I see a lot of people trying to parry everything, and although block level modifies it down, a set parry is 20 stamina. Yeah, so if you just keep pinging mobs and spending all that stamina, it's not going to be good in a group encounter. No. Especially versus start enemies. No, your stagger meter is going to go way up. It's not good for yourself. Anyway, I have a bunch of videos on that. It's not important. The details aren't important for that. Just know the principle. Alright, so stagger limits. Let's give you some classic examples. Trolls, 180, regular Draugr, 50, Draugr Elite 100, regular Wolves 40, Stone Golems and A-Bombs 264, Locks 300, Fullings 52.5, Fulling Shamans 30, Fulling Berserkers 240, Dvergr Rogues and Mages 105, Seer Soldiers 500, but they are physical resistant and they have a 1.5 times weak spot. Seekers 66.6, but they are physical resistant, so keep that in mind. Now, how do I get these numbers? Well, I open a new tab. Let's go to, let's just say Valheim Troll. Here we go. Go straight to the wiki, to the fandom, and we can scroll down here. Health 600. We scroll down here. Stagger limit 30%. So you take 30% of that amount, and you get your number. So we get 180 out of that. Very nice. And then you can just keep doing its math. The wiki is not entirely filled out, so we have this ULF tab pulled up. I'm going to use this as an example later. We have 50 health here. We do not have the stagger limit here. It's very unfortunate. Same thing with cultists, and I don't know why it's just them. Because, like, Seekers and Seeker Soldiers and Dverger, they have stagger thresholds up, but not Wolves and Cultists. It's odd. It's real odd. So, then, I go and I check the Valheim attack calculator. This is going to be a link in the description. And I will take relevant examples of gear with relevant skill levels, depending on the biome and the time period, based off of an experienced player. So I'm just taking my average. Some people in my community are going to have much higher levels than this. Some people, even without my community, like even without the knowledge, are going to have much higher levels. So I mean, I've been watching this one guy on Twitch, Croc of Gold. He hasn't killed bone mass. He's just been messing around, building, doing bow strats with Huntsman bow, root set, even in the plains and such. I mean, that guy's got bows 83, axes 100, run and jump 100. Yeah, hasn't killed bone mass. It's absurd. His levels are absurd. But yeah, a lot of people will have even higher levels than this, so I think this is a fair point. Let's go back over here for a moment. But yeah, we can actually calculate everything. So I have all of these examples here. I'm just going to read you off the examples, and then I'll give you an example of a calculation so that you understand what's going on, what's the methodology. At polearms 12, I just made it 12 instead of 10 for convenience because it was giving me a whole number. With quality 1 bronze at gear, we can stagger a troll with its middle mouse spin 60% of the time. Roughly 60%. Let's just say, let's put that there. At quality 4, it is 100% of the time. Yeah. Pretty nice difference there. At polearms 10, a bronze at gear will stagger a fulling 100% of the time. I'm not kidding. It really is that simple. At polearms 12, quality 4, bronze at gear spin will stagger a 2-star fulling roughly 65% of the time. At polearms 28, this becomes 100% of the time. Yeah, so also skill levels, very important. Even more important to damage calculations than your upgrade level, than your quality level. However, quality level, as we shall see, and as we see here, has a great impact at the same level. And we'll get into that more. So this is an interesting one. Swords 30 with a quality 1 bronze sword, around 1 out of 121, or 0.0083% of our regular 2-hit combos, so just a slash, will stagger a Draugr, allowing for a 3rd hit to kill it, with us taking no damage as a punish. So we just be super aggressive, very, very minimal, effectively 0% of the time. But at quality 4, it's 2/3 of the time, which you can get hit, and Draugr will be staggered, and you can kill it with a 3rd hit. That's good. That is really, really nice. That is an immense boost, and the same levels. At polearms 30, a quality 1 bronze at gear middle mouse will 100% of the time stagger any regular Draugr and wolf in the spin radius. So I say in the spin radius because it's going to cover a lot more radius than your sword in that instance. At quality 4, the same at gear middle mouse will stagger any Draugr and wolf up to 2-star, like including 2 stars, 100% of the time. Very, very good. Yeah, bronze at gear quality 4, that's the difference that it makes. Absurd. Now we have clubs 50 with an iron mace quality 1, around 7 or 17 or 41% roughly of our regular hits will stagger a wolf. So you hit it once and you hit it twice and it's killed. Of course, same sort of damage and idea with sword, but you wouldn't, I just made a couple videos on it. You're not really making an iron sword anyway, so that's fine. When maxed out, it staggers a wolf 100% of the time on the first hit, meaning that you are free to get your kill with the second hit. It's just really, really good. Of course, non-starter wolves, just normal wolves here. At polearms 50, a quality 1 Iron Axe gear will stagger a wolf with a poke 76% of the time, which means you can poke again and just kill the wolf, and you have all of this at the range of a polearm. Very nice. A quality 3 Iron Axe gear at polearms 50 staggers a wolf with a poke 100% of the time. So, if you have even less polearms, a little bit less polearms, and if you have quality 4, then that makes it more consistent, and you will more than likely get that 100% poke kill. Love that. Love that Iron Axe gear. Here we go, swords. We're in the Frost Caves now, and we're talking about one-shotting now. Oh yes, just taking them out in one hit. Swords 45, a quality 1 silver sword. Middle mouse will kill a cultist roughly 63% of the time, considering the DOT of the spirit damage. And at quality 4, it one-shots 100% of the time. These boosts are huge, people. Huge boosts. At polearm 61, again, I made it 61 instead of 60 to up the number so that it can be a whole number. I'll get to why I like whole numbers at the damage floor later when I show you the calculation. A quality 1 Iron Axe gear spin to win. Middle mouse will stagger a lox roughly 50% of the time. At quality 4, it will stagger a lox 100% of the time, which of course means you can start spamming pokes and you will stagger lock the lox to death with an Iron Axe gear. At polearm 61, At polearm 61, a quality 1 Iron Axe gear spin to win will stagger a fulling berserker 100% of the time. Yeah, it's that good. Yeah, Iron Axe gear, man. Or just Axe gears in general. It's polearms, it's absurd. At sword 60, a quality 1 silver sword slash will stagger a fulling roughly 48% of the time. At quality 4, it staggers 100% of the time. So if you're a sword main going through, you will really want to get those 1-2 kills. I mean, you don't really need to spend time on the third hit. You are just slashing once, staggering the fulling, slashing twice, killing it. Destruction. Brutal. Really good for your Sentinel Shack strategies. Try to say that 5 times fast. Moving on, at polearm 70, a quality 1 black metal axe gear spin will stagger a 1-star fulling berserker around 68.75% of the time. At quality 4, it is 100% of the time. These boosts, man. Now, unfortunately, the website doesn't differentiate between physical and lightning damage, but even with an extreme 1/3 of the Himmelaffel's damage, basically over-accounting for the Seeker's physical resistances, it resists physical, so pierce by half. But if I'm taking the total damage, 1/3, because it doesn't split between physical and lightning, at quality 1 with 50 polearm levels, it still staggers a Seeker 100% of the time with a spin. Yeah, Himmelaffe, strong. Really good. So, once the website actually accounts for that, then I would actually be able to more accurately calculate what the percentages of staggering things like starred or 2 stars, and then especially getting the calculations on staggering and stagger locking 2-star or not 2-star, like just a Seeker Soldier, because I know that you can spin to win a Seeker Soldier at some level and it will stagger it, and then you can just poke it to death from there and it'll just stagger lock it, which is great. I don't know exactly what polearm level that is, and once we get into the Mistlands type of gear, the percentage is not as high, not as worth, because we can only get it up to quality 2 right now, like a lot of our Mistlands gear. But let's do an example now. Yay, example time. Now you get to see my methodology. Alright, let's actually go to Frost Caves. Where's my Frost Cave? Here we go. So, one of the big strategies in the Frost Caves is taking out a big group of Olbs with the Iron Sledge, or just dropping down when you have a staircase and you see Olbs at the bottom and there's open doors. You want to take those Olbs out fast. Even if they see you, and if they smell you, if they're aggroed onto you, you want to take them out quick. And you want to make sure to one-shot them with the sledge, because those doors are open. You don't know what cultists or whatever is coming, and so you want all of your time available to swap to something like Iron At Gear or Silver Sword, so that you can deal with these cultists and whatever is on their way. So let's say Iron Sledge. We're gonna say clubs 50. So at clubs 50, a quality 1 Iron Sledge. Bonk will, and then we'll leave it like that. We don't have stagger thresholds for Ulves, but that's fine. We're worrying about one-shotting it with the Iron Sledge. We know it has 50 HP. We go to the attack calculator. We have an Ulv here. We have the Iron Sledge at clubs 50, and we see the damage threshold here. If you see most other things, let's actually go like Iron At Gear. We have the middle mouse as the second bar there, and then it'll have a higher rate if you go Iron Axe. See, the middle mouse is calculated there. But let's go back to the Iron Sledge now. So we are looking for 50 is our magic number. We've got a nice threshold here. We're not going to calculate all of the decimal values, because then it would take a long, annoying time, and I'm not going to deal with that. I will just say it's roughly this amount, and I will count whole numbers. So what we're looking for is how many times will this damage RNG ping 50 or greater. So what's the total amount of set? Let's say 40 to 62. What are the total amount of numbers there? Well, we do the math, and it's 23 possible numbers. So that's our denominator, 23. Now the numerator is going to be 50 to 62. How many numbers are there? There are 13 numbers. So 13 out of 23. Let's actually go here to our calculator, handy dandy. 13 divided by 23. And we get roughly 56.5. We're going to round that up just for convenience sake. We're going to say 57%. So we go here. Bonk will kill an Ulv. 57, let's say roughly 57% of the time. Alright, now let's go back here and let's take this to, oh, nope, I did the I did the quality 4 calculations. That's my bad. I'm sure people have been yelling at me. Let's actually then do that 57% of the time. So now let's do the quality 1 calculations. Quality 1 and Iron Sledge with clubs 50 will, and let's check it. Quality 1. Whoops, that's quality 10. Never. It will never kill an Ulv if they are aggroed onto you. Of course, it will always one-shot them at this range, which is great if they are unaware of you, if they're unaggroed. So that's good, but you can't really guarantee that. So that becomes a little bit of a thing. Also, if you encounter a mega room with a bunch of Ulvs just all connected to each other, you can get like 11, 12, 13, 15 Ulvs all running at you. If you try to use your At Gear, you're not going to catch them all, and they're going to like scramble on top of each other, and you'll just get decimated by like the second wave of Ulvs that you've missed. But you can cover them all with a jumping Iron Sledge bonk. And this is where the quality comes into effect, because then you will actually have great odds of killing a bunch of them. You will stagger the rest of them, surely. Even if their stagger threshold is 50%, that more than staggers them, guaranteed. And then you can finish them off with a second bonk, having full readiness for any cultists that you have aggroed with that sledge bonk. Oh yes, it is very, very good to have your kill thresholds up, up, up. Very nice. So that's good. Good to have. Let's see. I think what I want to do now is do the early bronze At Gear versus... trying to think. No, I won't do that. I want to do a more interesting calculation. Let's do... Iron Gear versus... oh man. Why am I blanking? Dverger, yes. So, quality 1. Let's do polearms first. Polearms. Let's do 75. That's a safe number. And I'm saying Iron Gear because I'm just basically just showing how good the Iron Gear is. In fact, let's actually bring this down to 50, just to make this clear. In Iron Gear, quality 1, spin to win, will stagger a Dverger. How many percentage of the time? So the Dverger stagger threshold, let's scroll up to find that. It's down here. 105. So we take 105 and we divide that by 6, and we reach the normal damage that a Gear spin to win has to reach in order to stagger this creature. Because an Gear spin to win, middle mouse, has a 6 times damage to staggering ratio. It's got that beautiful modifier on it, so we have to divide by 6. We get 17.5. Okay, so something tells me we've already guaranteed it. Let's find out. Okay, so we've got Dverger. This is pointless, actually. Iron Gear, quality 1, level 50. Yeah, we've guaranteed it, 100%. Every time. In fact, let's see how far down until this doesn't happen. Really? No shot. Okay. What is it, 3? Yeah, 3. So polearms 3 at a quality 1 Gear is when that's not guaranteed. And I want to make it clear that a lot of the enemies that we fight in Valheim are balanced towards the amount of damage that they deal to you, not necessarily the amount of HP that they have. A lot of these enemies are relatively glass cannons. A lot of the normal enemies out there, pretty much glass cannons. And so when you have things with really good strategies like Gears and such, we know that we're more worried about starred enemies at this point. So calculations for starred enemies, let's do that now. Very simple. It's just a 100% buff each time. So this 17.5 for a 2-star rogue or mage, we're going to multiply this by 3. Or no, we're not going to do that. We're going to take the total HP that a Dverger has. Let's take Dverger mage. 2-star. That's a lot of HP. Look at that. 1,050. It's got 30% stagger limit, so we take 1,050 divided by 30. We have a 35 HP stagger limit. We're going to divide this by 6. Something's not right. What happened there? Did I divide by 30? Am I being silly? 1,050 times 0.3. There we go. Much better. Now we divide that by 6. 52.5. Hey, the same stagger ratio that a normal fulling has, except the fulling isn't divided by 6 yet to account for Gear spin to win. So 52.5 is our magic number. Now we can bring this all the way back up to 50. And oh, we're actually hitting this a little bit. Now we can do some math. Let's say this is just 35 and this is 55. Okay, that's 21 numbers. How many are hitting this 52? Let's just round this up to 53, just to be convenient. Okay, you know what? Come on now. Oh my god. 53. Stop. Clear. goofy ass calculator system. 53. Let's say it's 53. The amount of numbers that this hits, 53 to 55, that's a difference of 2. So we have 3 numbers. 53, 54, 55. 3 numbers. That's 3 out of 21. So now we can do that math. 3 divided by 21. And we get roughly 0.14 or 14% of the time. So roughly 14% of the time in Iron At gear at quality 1 with 50 polearm skills will stagger a 2-star rogue or mage. Let's write that down. 2-star Stagger. Roughly 14% of the time. And now we're gonna make this quality 4. That's 41. Now we're staggering this thing a lot more consistently. So let's say this is 45 to 70. How many numbers are there? Well, the difference between that is 25. So we have 26 numbers. Our denominator is 26. How many numbers is 53 to 70? 17, so we have 18 numbers there. So we have 18 divided by 26. This gives us a rough percentage, so roughly 69% of the time, we are going to stagger a Draugr Mage, 2-star Draugr, Mage or Rogue. So at quality 4, this is roughly 69% of the time. Very nice. Now, let's look at the black metal at gear. Ooh, we've upgraded the black metal. Boom. Quality 1. Oh, now we're staggering it 100% of the time. Very nice. Make it quality 4. Now the damage is much higher. Now keep in mind, once we've staggered the mage, it's still going to have just under 1,000 HP. So in order to really get those hits consistently dealing damage, again, we are boosting that damage in each poke, poke, poke by 144. So we're getting 144 extra damage in our 3-hit combo. Of course, the at gear at this point, we've got single hit. So we're just hitting. It is much better. Of course, let's see the difference. The difference in damage, that adds up. That adds up. I mean, even quality 3 to quality 4. Look at this. Look at that. What am I doing? Get that out of here. 3 to 4. Of course, my polearm levels would be around 70. So at quality 1, staggering every time. Quality 4, still staggering every time, but that damage difference. Whew. We move to Himin. Oh yeah, I mean we can't get quality 4, so we do quality 1, quality 2, quality 1, quality 2. And of course, the reason why we upgrade the Himin Awful, even though it can deal with them, again, as I've shown, the small damages matter, but also Stagger can be wet, and so we have a difference on damage with lightning. So right now, what I want to check is Himin Awful Valheim. Let's go quality 2. 46 lightning, that's going to be modified to 69 lightning. So that is a difference versus wet targets of 23 damage per poke. That's going to be modified by your regular combo and, you know, staggering. So let's say we got 23 times 2. That's 46, 46, and then a 92. So let's add that up. come on. We get 184 extra damage just from the enemy being wet and all this damage being lightning instead of physical like the black metal one is. So yeah, very good there. Very, very, very good. Of course, I probably should do the numbers for black metal at gear, stagger locking the locks. Just be aware that it is very, very good. Black metal at gear. I mean, I've had experience killing locks at these levels with the quality 4 at gear. After a spin to win, it takes 4 to 5 hits to kill the locks. 4 to 5. It's going to be much higher than that with an Iron at gear, even just a quality 1. It's going to be more hits to kill, which is really brutal. In fact, hold on. This isn't going to show the full picture here because of staggering modifier. But I mean, let's do this. Yeah. Quality 1, quality 4. Let's bring this down to 50 now. Quality 1, quality 4. So yeah. Even those couple of hits will save you time if you're in a Locks Plus encounter, let's say a Locks Plus Fulling encounter. Oh yes, very good to have those kills fast. Next episode will be this again. I'll be talking more about this. I will be doing, well, more of a analytical rather than mathematical response and follow-up. I'll be talking about things to do after you've maxed out your gear. Now, normally you max out your gear. Sure, it makes the difference in staggering and damaging, as I've shown you here. Just prove it makes a difference. However, what do you really do after you've maxed out this stuff in a biome? Why wouldn't you just go to the next biome? Cliffhanger time. Stay tuned for next episode. Thank you so much for dealing with this over half an hour now mathematical nonsense. I think it's pretty valuable. Yeah, the difference made is a lot higher than even I had expected, and it had originally falsely calculated. Yeah, it wasn't very good originally, but I fixed it out, and oh my god, upgrading the quality 4 is much better than I would have ever thought at reasonable levels. Makes a huge difference. Alright, thanks for watching. See you guys tomorrow. Bye.